I'm joined now live from Sydney by Jonathan Barratt. He's Managing Director at Commodity Broking Services. Well, Jonathan, I have to give you credit here because you had it right. You said the Egyptian situation results in the removal of Mubarak, and other countries are going to follow. The unrest is going to spread, whereas some had said that Mubarak stepping down should calm the markets. What's your latest assessment of the situation, given what we're seeing in Libya?
Lindsay, I think when you do look at the whole situation, we're seeing where Middle Eastern premium being built back into the market. The market, I think, was placated with the resignation and certainly what we saw in Tunisia. So I feel that the market now is trying to build this Middle Eastern premium in, and I feel that that's what's keeping prices relatively well supported. I feel if the momentum continues with the feeling of these people, then that could spread to other areas. And one of the big concerns I do have is if in fact something happens in Iran with the Straits of Hormuz, because as we know, close to 40% of seaborne oil goes through that 54 kilometres. So if anything happens there, then I think we do have a real concern on our hands.
How big of a concern is that? I mean, how probable is something like that? How do the markets feel about that?
I think it is a rare event, but I think when we're faced with the fact that we don't understand or how fast this could actually move, then that premium becomes a lot wider. You know, when we see particularly the velocity of the market we saw just over the last 24 hours, where we were trading close to 88 and now we're trading as high and through 93.50. We've broken critical resistance at 92.50. So the market, I feel, really wants to build in the uncertainty if this contagion continues to spread.
So you see prices continuing to rise then after it's broken through this technical level, which it has?
Well, this is the interesting thing because your previous guest was 100% correct, where we don't have too much of a concern in terms of global supply. We have, excess capacity with OPEC, which they can turn on whenever they need to. So I think we have the supply already contained. Remember Libya, when they look to export, export basically 95% of their earnings come from oil. So if they have a protracted problem, then they've got a major issue in themselves. So I think they're looking for a resolution, I guess, or a quick fix situation. But what I do see is the fact that although it's contained and supply is contained, people will be concerned and they should keep prices relatively well bid if in fact we continue to get issues arising like in Bahrain, if we get more in Oman, all those areas. If we see this contagion spreading, that Middle Eastern premium will come to the fray regardless of what we see in supply.
And quickly, Jonathan Barratt, is the global economy under threat as a result of this higher oil price?
I think if anything, I don't think it is. I think if in fact crude gets through that US $100 a barrel, then it becomes an issue. But we've already got pledges from OPEC to say they'll increase the taps. So if we continue to see this spike, more supply will come on, and that should placate and keep global growth where it is and hopefully see it continue to rise.
All right, Jonathan Barratt from Commodity Broking Services, thanks very much for being with us.